Back out in the shop. I want to start making more cuts and sparks and welds. Getting ready to address the kick panels so I can start fitting the rockers up. And on that note, this being the panel that I made the bucks for, in the process of measuring and 2 or 3 times and setting everything up. As I lined up the bucks, they were 3/4 of an inch off. And being 3/4 of an inch wide, it's obviously I measured from the wrong side of the side. However, it's just another step in the process. We'll see how my repair does. I have often said in jest that I've done some of my best work straightening out my mistakes and mess ups, and this is a prime example. My intentions are to predominantly fuse weld this panel back together using these oxyacetylene instead of the MIG. It is obviously much slower in the welding portion of it, but when you take and use a MIG, the weld has two problems with what I'm doing here. It obviously is feeding wires, so there's more material in the weld area, and the MIG wire, the MIG weld becomes very hard compared to the metal around it. This being, I think it's 18 gauge sheet metal that I'm using, and I wanted to reenact some of my gas welding that I had done many years ago. The process of forming the metal on the back side of the repair should be much easier. I'll be able to grind it, and it will grind and not leave a hump where the weld is at due to the hard MIG wire. And my intention is to English wheel it a little bit. I did some tuning on my Harbor Freight basic bare bones English wheel, and should do a much better job. I clamped it down to a heavy piece of metal to keep it all lined up, but the metal absorbed a lot of the heat from the torch, and so it was kind of fighting me. Once I got the clamps off of it and got the metal where it wasn't in solid contact with my metal block I had it clamped to, the process went better. I welded a little bit, planished it a little bit. Look at it for a while and flip it over and do some more on the other side. Welding's all done, so taking and finish grinding the fused in welded areas. The fusion did good. Most of the time I had to add rods was where I kind of blew a hole in it when I had it clamped down to that heavy block. Little DA action, some 80 grit. A bit of touch up for some low areas. Never seems like it's done good enough, so we do it a little more. Here's the finished product. A little touch up on the English wheel. It worked well. Took some of the wave out of the panel. And since I got the two wheels to match up better, using it to kind of define the raised areas, make them a little sharper. Run it along the edge. You could hold the metal and pull it up and make a little more defined area up for the raised portion. I've trimmed the panel down to its approximate final height, cut out the notch for the inner rocker panel, and welded a 90-degree piece of metal to make the flange. The fun part of drilling spot welds, the thrill of that never goes away. And taking the very noisy air hacksaw, trimming off the rusted portion and lower portion of the panel. What the saw couldn't get to, use the cutoff wheel. All those spot welds broke loose. This panel goes under that triangular brace and all the way over to the edge of the inner fender. Things are trimmed. And I'm pretty happy the way it fits. After a fair amount of off-camera fitting, I proceeded to trim both sections, put the weld tube primer between all of the overlapping seams, and decided to use my new tool, the infamous Harbor Freight spot welder. Does a good job so far. These are its first attempts, other than a small test section I did on some scrap metal. I am going to go back and solid weld across the seam. Make sure there's no water intrusion. Probably no real reason to do it other than I just am going to. But the spot welder's got it nailed in there nice. It fits good. I anticipate no warpage and an easy weld. To finish this off. Thanks for watching.